Howdy, Tallahassee. This is student meteorologist Nikki Kanakis, ready to bring you your Wednesday edition of FSU weather. It's an absolutely beautiful view over Doak right now. The sun is shining bright. So glad that the sun is shining later now that we're going into spring and almost into summer now, especially with these temperatures, 83 degrees. It has been an absolute scorcher today. And all around the area, you're seeing the same 83 here, 82 in Donaldsonville. And as we get along the coast, you're seeing a little bit of relief because we're near the water at 75 in Apalachicola and 78 in Perry. I wish I was at the beach right now, but I'm also doing the weather, so it's almost better, definitely better. But as we go into the next day, by tomorrow, it's going to be just another hot day outside, so make sure you put on your sunscreen if you're going to be outside. Make sure you're drinking that water because we all know that we need to be drinking more water these days. Tonight, though, it's going to be pretty mild, and for the rest of tomorrow, it's also going to be a hot day, but maybe some clouds will bring us a little bit of relief. For tonight's show, there's going to be severe storms in the Midwest and the northern Atlantic states. We're going to a spotlight state in our producer's hometown of Jacksonville, and it's the second to last Wednesday show. All this and more on FSU Weather. What a transition. Good evening.
Good evening. So as we've seen today, it has been quite hot, right, Nikki?
Yeah, I had class outside this morning. I was sweating, and then I had to go to my other class, and I decided to take the bus, which I think people don't utilize that much. They're air conditioned, and it was way better than walking.
Honestly, that's a smart idea. I walked everywhere today, did not take a bus, and regretted it. It is hot, hot, hot today, and it's a good taste for summer coming up very soon. So yeah, it's definitely something to get prepared for. Not necessarily look forward to if you're not someone who likes the heat, but it's definitely good practice.
Yeah, I'm definitely not prepared for summer. I know in the past summer in Tallahassee, the heat index has gotten up to 115 some days, and getting a little taste of just the 80s and almost the 90s like we're going to be seeing this weekend, I'm just like not ready for it.
I know. No, last summer was not pretty. I was outside for a lot of that, and it was, you know, heat stroke is very prevalent in these times. So it's definitely something to be aware of as we go into the summer months this summer in Tallahassee, as the trend has been heating quite rapidly.
Yeah, but if you want to go to the beach or something this weekend, it's actually excellent opportunity to do so, and it should be a great day for the spring game if you like the heat, but make sure you're definitely drinking water, especially if you're going to be standing in the stadium for a couple of hours.
For sure, definitely wear sunscreen and a hat, but let's go on to Robert. Tell us what's going on in the Tallahassee area.
Right, thanks, Daniela and Nikki. Right now, we are watching the chance for some heat here in Tallahassee. It has been a little bit on the warmer side over the past few days, and as Nikki mentioned, the spring game coming up we have this weekend. It's still going to be a bit of a scorcher outside, so right now we're watching. It's going to be 83 degrees outside and only warming up even more into the weekend. Partly cloudy, winds from the south-southeast at about 10 miles per hour outside. And for our temperature almanac, we're ending up a little bit warmer than average for the day today, sitting around 5 degrees above average for our high at 85, and a little bit warmer, 4 degrees warmer on that low. And our record today, 91, so only 6 degrees off that record temperature there. Just keeping that in mind. There is a chance we could see with some of these highs later in the week, we could reach record status with them. For our highs, for our temperatures, right now, sitting in the 70s closer to the Gulf Coast, a little bit warmer, a little bit further north. That sea breeze really helping out in Apalachicola at 75, 78 in Perry, 83 in Tallahassee, where you're starting to get a little warmer, and even up to 85 in Valdosta, really feeling that heat. There's still even at 6 p.m. tonight. For those current dew points, it's still fairly muggy outside, particularly at the coast. We're at 68 in Apalachicola, a little bit drier further north at 59 in Donaldsonville, and 64 in Tallahassee, kind of splitting the difference there. So we're starting to get into the summer months here, feeling that heat sort of kicking in, and that moisture too. Some of the things that, some of the least things you like about Florida are starting to kick in here, but still we can enjoy while it's not quite so terribly hot like it'll be in the 90s much later into the summer here. For your wind speed and direction, all really much from the south here at the moment, except for some slight northerly winds as you get further north there, and some southeasterly winds in Valdosta, southwesterly, For your current local radar, there's possibly maybe a shower or two as you get closer to the tri-state area near Mariana, but right now, not a lot on the radar to worry about, nothing severe at the moment. For our future cast, as we work through the night on Thursday and into the early morning hours Thursday and afternoon hours, we're seeing those clouds start to move in. And these temperatures, even despite the clouds, still being in the 80s for much of the area, 86 in Tallahassee and Quincy, a little bit cooler towards the coast like it was today, but still feeling that heat as we see it here in Tallahassee and really warming up. A nice view in downtown Tallahassee right now. Not a cloud in the sky. That is sort of contributing to our factor of having this heat here with Tallahassee at the moment, but still feeling that heat as we go through the next few days. If you're going to be walking your dog, try and walk your dog in the morning because that's when you have that best sort of temperature while the sun is still sort of out at the moment between 7 and 9 a.m. Still in the 60s there. You're going to really enjoy that. But for tonight's low temperatures, it's going to be in the 60s for most of us here in Tallahassee and all throughout the area. And on your 7-day forecast, we're seeing, again, that warming up as you look in towards Friday as you get a high of 91, maybe cooling off into the weekend, and a chance of storms as we get into the Sunday period. So if you're out for the weekend, make sure you are staying attuned to that. Nikki with some weather for Florida.
Oh, Florida's looking pretty good. A wee bit toasty for my liking, but if we go to the Panhandle in Pensacola, it's 74. It's looking absolutely gorgeous outside. Looking like there might be a pretty good sunset later. The skies are quite clear, especially in the rest of the state as well. Pretty toasty though, as I already said before. Right now, oh my goodness, so red on the map right now. 85 in Tampa and 80 in Key West, 83 in Orlando. But as I said before, as we get to the Panhandle, maybe that sea breeze is making it a little bit cooler, but not by much. Our current dew points are pretty muggy as well. Very humid outside. It is indeed Florida, the state that we live in. And as we go into the next few days, the dew points are going to stay probably quite similar, maybe getting a little bit higher, especially down in Key West. We're getting up to 69, 70 dew point, which is very muggy. So make sure that you're drinking water and staying hydrated as you're going out during the week. Our satellite, absolutely clear day in Tallahassee today. Absolutely gorgeous day across most of the state. But as you can see up in the Panhandle, there might be a little bit of rain coming from around Louisiana, New Orleans. Is coming right towards Pensacola. So make sure, of course, you're always staying weather aware. Maybe if you're in that area, make sure you're careful when you're driving. Maybe bring an umbrella around when you're going out. And for the next couple of days, Pensacola is looking quite nice. Low chances of rain and nice temperatures. Make sure you're going to the beach perhaps. We're starting to get back into beach weather. So I know a lot of people here are excited about that. Jacksonville looking, oh my goodness, super duper hot. Make sure that you are drinking that water and putting on that sunscreen because it looks like the sun is going to be out and it's going to be quite scorching there in that city. I am so not excited for summer. I'm ready for it to be winter again, even though it just started getting warm again. But those cold temperatures are just my favorite, especially for Tampa. Again, we're hitting 90 on Friday, so make sure that you're being prepared because I know we were just wearing sweatshirts like a week ago. And now we got to make sure that we're wearing our t-shirts and shorts. Orlando, if you're going to the parks, make sure you have maybe one of those little portable fans that you can buy at Disney World. Make sure you buy one of those. It's going to be super toasty, 94 on Saturday, but sunny, so it should be quite beautiful, but at a cost, you're going to be very sweaty. Miami, for some reason, as we go into the south, it's cooler than the rest of the state, but lucky for Miami, that is absolutely Miami weather. People are going to be loving that. Tonight, it's going to be mild across most of the state, and as we get down into Miami, it may be a little bit warmer at 70, but yeah, great temperatures all around. Tomorrow, another toasty, scorching day. My favorite words today, toasty, scorching, because that's what it is. 79 up in Pensacola is going to be the coolest we can find, but oh my goodness, on the other side of the state, Jacksonville at 91 degrees, that is way too hot for April. But what can you say? It's how the cookie crumbles. Now, we're going to be zooming out to the southeast.
Thanks, Nikki. So yes, looking in the southeast, it is not much different than Florida. We are looking at Orlando right now at 83 degrees, 76 in Charleston, and 70 in Atlanta. And we're also seeing 77 in Charlotte. So overall, we're seeing some above average temperatures, and that's really the trend we're focusing on today. So right now, going on into the southeast, we are seeing some pretty hot temperatures. We see 78 in New Orleans as some of the more mild areas, and right now it's 83 in Tallahassee. We are seeing 83 also in Middle Rock and 80 in Nashville, and we are seeing 85 in Tampa. Miami, a little cooler at 79. So overall, like we've been talking about, it's been pretty scorching out, and it's something to get prepared for as we move on into the summer month. Current dew points are also the similar way. We have a cold front going towards the middle of the country, bringing some more of that moisture. So it's going to be more humid in the Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas areas. But as we get towards more east, we are seeing less mild humidity here, but it's still enough to rise up those temperatures and that feels like index to be a little higher than what it is. SPC storm outlook for the southeast, not too much to worry about. We have some non-severe weather coming in, but most of the worst of the weather is going to be to the northern parts and the central parts of the country, and that is where they will see some damaging winds, small hail, and possible flash flooding. But for the southeast, not too much to worry about. As we go into wind speed and direction, we do see we got a lot of that Gulf wind coming through, 10 miles per hour in Tallahassee, 8 in Tampa. So that's really bringing in some of that warm, moist air that we are experiencing that is contributing to our heat right now. And as we're going into our satellite and radar, we do have a high pressure in the Gulf, so that is what's kind of keeping the rain from us and keeping that heat. As we see it starting to fizzle out here after it passes Louisiana. But most of that rain, we might see some storms in Atlanta, but nothing too concerned about, just another spring storm. You know, April showers do bring those May flowers, so hopefully that will be the case. But for our upper level water vapor, we do see this moisture coming in the upper levels. And we do again see this cold front here as we see the drier air behind it. But that is something else to look forward to in the coming days. As we go into our future radar, we do see this rain coming through, but as we see it does start to fizzle out a bit, and we see those clouds kind of stay to our west. And so that's what's keeping Florida nice and clear and sunny for that beach weather. And again, for the rain, we are not seeing too many rain totals. Thankfully, we get to catch a break after that flooding last week. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about that. But going into tonight's forecast, we will be seeing mild temperatures in the 60s, nothing too crazy. And then tomorrow, we will be seeing some scorching temperatures, 90 in Orlando. And we'll be seeing those mid to upper 80s go into tomorrow. As we move on to Nikki, tell us about the lifestyle.
There is so much to do right now in Tallahassee. We're gearing up towards graduation and the end of the semester, so there's quite a few things to do around town. Panama City looking great. Lake Bradford, what a great day it would have been to go to the res if you didn't have class. Sportsplex, if you're playing some games tonight. Softball and football, I think, are in season right now. So absolutely gorgeous night to be playing or supporting your friends. And, of course, the rest of Tallahassee. Just a beautiful, not a cloud in the sky in downtown Tallahassee. So make sure you're going out, looking up at the sky, maybe not into the sun. I know some people have learned their lesson from the eclipse. Let's not do that. But, of course, it's nice to look at the beautiful blue sky. Local radar, clear in Tallahassee, maybe a little bit of a shower or two around Mariana, but as far as I can see, Tallahassee is quite clear. If you're going to karaoke night, it will be a gorgeous, mild night. Personally, I will be singing I Had the Time of My Life. That's how I feel about FSU weather. It's our last 2 weeks of shows of the semester, so make sure you're tuning in every single day to see our beautiful weathercasters before a lot of them graduate and a lot of them come back. But, you know, you could be missing out on your favorite weathercasters for the whole entire summer. Tomorrow, of course, t-shirt and shorts kind of day, hot, maybe a few clouds, but if you're going to be walking to class, definitely you should be wearing a t-shirt. If you're going to be walking your dogs, like cute, our weather producer Nancy's little dogs right here, super adorable. Absolutely, you should be walking them earlier in the morning before that sun comes out because it's going to heat up pretty fast. If you're going to be traveling over the next couple of days, or right now there are no delays in Tallahassee, but as we get into the rest of the country, we are seeing some delays in Dallas and New York. Definitely more New York. Maybe because of the weather, it might be raining there right now. So definitely make sure you're watching out if someone you know is traveling or if you're traveling to one of those places. If you're driving to class, drive with the windows down, blast some music. I Had the Time of My Life. That song, great song to be blasting tomorrow. Great time if you're going to be doing some bike trails at Town Brown Park, maybe going to the playground. Great day, but make sure you're going early. On Sunday, there might be some thunderstorms in the afternoon, so just watch out for that. And definitely if there's thunder or lightning, make sure that you stay inside for at least 30 minutes after the thunder ends, so you're not in danger. Tonight, another mild night, great temperatures, definitely maybe eat outside, maybe have a little picnic on Landis with your friends, enjoy the time outside before it gets too hot at night to want to be doing anything. Yep, the Funk and Blues Fest is going to be this weekend as well. 89 degrees on Friday. It should be an absolutely gorgeous night to go out. But for the rest of the weekend, as I said, it's going to heat up all the way up to 90 on Friday and Saturday. So make sure you're washing out if you're going to the circus or to our spring game on Saturday, that you are drinking your water and wearing that sunscreen. But now that we've looked right here in Tallahassee to see the things to do, what is the national looking like, Robert?
Right, thanks, Nikki. We're going to look at the national setup here, seeing a bit of a temperature contrast around the country right now. 45 in Billings, but you compare that all the way down to San Antonio, 81 degrees. That's almost 40 degrees difference there. And you really see that this time of year. We're really getting towards the late spring, early summertime period. Still a little cold up north in places like Lincoln, Nebraska, where you're sitting in the 50s there, but in the 80s in Dallas. So you really see that temperature contrast really evident there, and 80s here, of course, in Tallahassee. With these dew points, is again a classic sort of spring setup here. You see what looks like sort of almost a dry line towards the west of Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio, and you have a low pressure system up here, big, huge amount of moisture out ahead of it, and that's where we're watching the chance for some severe weather over the next few days that we'll get to in a second. That dynamic storm system really providing that moisture and lift and instability, all of the sort of ingredients you need for severe weather. Upper level water vapor really showing that we do still have some good amount of moisture ahead of this system here, all the way from western Texas near the Big Bend area, all out east towards the Carolinas, showing a good plume of moisture, and behind that some drier air that you can see in that area just north of Texas and Oklahoma. And really just behind this front here, it's now passed through Dallas, and we have this low pressure system out here and another one up here, which is really providing some severe weather at the moment for the Ohio area and West Virginia areas that we're watching, and we'll be keeping you updated throughout the day on those severe weather potential chances that we are seeing throughout the U.S. So this system is really impacting quite a lot of areas of America. We do have, again, a marginal risk with that area in Texas, a little bit east of that dry line area we're watching. We do have another marginal and even a slight in parts of the central Great Plains, including Kansas City and Lincoln, Nebraska. And then we do have that low pressure system out east towards Ohio, which has prompted a tornado watch. As we get into tomorrow, we see an enhanced risk for parts of Illinois, so that we'll have a chance for some tornadoes, some large hail damaging winds. So make sure that you are staying attuned to all of these risks that are out. Have multiple ways to get weather notifications on your phone. And if you do see a tornado warning issue today or tomorrow, make sure you're going towards that lowest level area in your home, lowest level based on outside walls and windows. You're basically just trying to keep you safe from all of the different types of weather that could impact you. And the more walls, the more windows you have separating you from the outside, that is best. So a room that does not have any outside windows, a room that's close to the center of your house as possible, that's best. And particularly in that area in the north where you see that risk in Ohio today and that risk in Illinois, and you see that risk for parts of Missouri, I would say that those areas, they do have some basements. So it's important to keep that in mind as you are seeing those severe risks, that those risks can pose tornadoes. And where you do have basements, that's the safest area because you are underground and you're protected from that tornado. So here's the situation for tomorrow. Again, a strong contrast in temperatures from going from Dallas, Fort Worth up to Kansas City. You can really see that front right there, pretty strong contrast of temperatures for that, and really that area that we're watching for that enhanced risk, you do have that area for large hail and damaging winds just outside out ahead of that. Ahead of that whole front system, pretty warm and muggy in the 80s here in Tallahassee, in the 80s in New Orleans, and even getting up to 78 in Washington, D.C. But look at that just north in Boston. Huge temperature contrast along the northeast corridor, and you're not seeing much of a difference in space between them. 47 in Boston, 78 in D.C., and then as we get towards the west coast, seeing the 60s in San Francisco and Los Angeles. But now we're going to move a little bit back closer towards Florida for a spotlight in Jacksonville with Daniela.
Thank you, Robert. So yeah, in Jacksonville, we are seeing again scorching temperatures right now. It is 84 degrees right now and partly cloudy as we're looking at southeast winds at 11 miles per hour. Again, those Gulf winds coming from that high pressure we have right now. And as we go into our temperature almanac today, we do see some above average temperatures. A high today of 87, nearing the record from 1967 of 93 degrees. So we do see a lot of above average temperature trends going into the Florida area right now, specifically in Jacksonville. And right now our current satellite and radar are pretty clear. We have some clouds rolling in and then they will eventually clear back out. So we've been seeing some partly cloudy weather contributing to that moisture and that heat that we have. And going to our day planner forecast, this is definitely a muggy time in Jacksonville right now, but it is sunny. So that is definitely a chance to go to Atlantic or Neptune Beach or Jax Beach and enjoy your time there at the pier before it gets too hot in the summer to be able to really enjoy yourself there. Right now, current dew points, we are seeing drier dew points towards western parts of the Jacksonville area. And as we get closer to the water, we are seeing higher dew points at 66 in Atlantic Beach right now and 62 in Jacksonville to be the mean of all of these temperatures. And Middleburg right now, it is drier at 57 and even drier in Baldwin right now. And as we go into tonight's forecast, it will stay mild and we'll see the low to mid 60s tonight. We will see a little higher at 66 in Atlantic Beach, but we'll be seeing 60 in Baldwin, 61 in Middleburg. So pretty mild weather, pretty average for spring. And as we go into our future cast into tomorrow, we will see some clouds rolling in and we will see some hot weather rolling in for tomorrow as we will see near 90 degrees. As we'll see 87 in Baldwin, 88 in Jacksonville, a little cooler towards the coast. But as we go into the weekend, like we said, coast might be a not bad idea. So as we go into Jacksonville, it's going to be 94, nearing the mid-90s this weekend. It will be a big adjustment, definitely in preparation for these summer months coming up. But as we go into next week, we might see some more chances for rain that allow some cool down to happen and get a little taste of spring again. But as we roll on into the next week, just be prepared for that hot weather and we will be good to go. So Nikki, tell us more.
All right, we're going into our last look at the local before we close out our show. And as we started the show, a beautiful look over Doak. Oh my goodness, my eyes, it's so bright outside. Very, very nice. 82 degrees, a little bit cloudy, a few little clouds in the background there. But of course, the sun is not being blocked, so make sure you have your sunglasses on because the sun hasn't set yet. Looking at the rest of the area, the Sportsplex, again, beautiful. St. George Island, absolutely, probably great night to watch the sunset. So if you're not too far from the coast, maybe take a little look. Sit on the beach, dip your toes in the water, have a nice night. Right now, clear in Tallahassee, really just helping my argument that you should be going out, watching the beautiful sunset tonight that I'm presuming that we're going to be having. And definitely listen to my word because I'm always right. Right now, 83 here, 82 up in Donaldsonville, and as we get towards the coast, it's a little bit cooler, 75 in Apalachicola and 78 in Perry. So definitely nice temperatures right now if you're very excited to get back into that warm weather type of beat. And tonight, 65 here, basically the same within a temperature degree or two all around the area. So great night to go out, maybe hang out with your friends outside. Definitely a good night to do so. Tomorrow, if you're waking up at the crack of dawn, great, 64 degrees, but it's heating up pretty quick. We're going up 14 degrees by noon. Oh my goodness. In 6 hours, we're going up 14 degrees. That's average of a little more than 2 degrees an hour. And by 6 p.m., it's going to be 82 degrees. So definitely, you can get we're getting a mix of temperatures tomorrow. We're changing it up quite a bit. In the next day or so, we're going to be seeing some clouds moving through. It might be a little bit cloudier tomorrow than it was today. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit juicy outside, some may say. Make sure that maybe you put a little something in your hair because it might get a little wavy because it's going to be a little bit muggy tomorrow. And if you have allergies like I do and have been suffering recently, the suffering is unfortunately not over. Grass pollen is high today. So definitely make sure you are looking out for that, maybe taking your allergy meds before you leave in the morning for class. Tomorrow, it's quite a hot day. I'm trying to avoid toasty. I feel like I've said it too many times to y'all. 84 in Monticello, 80s all around. Everybody gets in 80-something degrees. Congrats, it is hot outside. But as we're gearing up towards our spring game, make sure you are watching the weather. It's going to be hot outside, 91 degrees. On Friday and Saturday, last weekend to see the circus as well, so make sure you're going out and seeing that, and have a good weekend in Tallahassee. But Robert, Daniela, let's close the show out.
Of course. So talking about that spring game, Robert, I heard you're going. What are you doing in preparation for that?
Right. Well, I mean, it just seems like the perfect situation for everyone to get super sunburned there because the highs in the 80s. You're going to have like maybe one cloud in the sky. It's going to happen at 4 p.m. The sun's going to be like way over the stadium. So number one, sunscreen, huge. Number two, bring water because, you know, we want to see our offense and defense go out and play well. We want to see us get ready to get for the national championship next year, but you also don't want to die while you're watching the game. So you want to make sure you have some water in place because that'd be very helpful. That's at least my tips for what I'm going to do.
You know, that's also very helpful tips. Yes, yeah. Definitely hydrate the day before because the day of, it's already too late and you already will be dehydrated at that point. But yeah, hopefully I won't have to deal with that as badly. I am going to the circus this weekend, so hopefully I'll have some coverage from the sun, but it will still be hot. But do remember to follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And make sure to watch us live on YouTube if you're not right now at FSU Weather.
And we're live at 6 p.m. every night. Follow us on Instagram as well, FSU Weather, and we will also take your photos anytime, so always send those to us.
And also remember to follow us on TikTok at FSU Weather. See some good stuff there.
All right, for FSU Weather, for our Wednesday show, I'm Robert Zott.
And I'm Daniela Streety.
Have a good night.